hit up the middle. In comes Benny Milko coming around third. He'll score easily.
Why, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zeister Slot Tournament. I'm Jason Gervais. I'm behind Sportpark Broadcasting. We are here for Game 3 on this side of the pond here at Zeist. That's in the Netherlands. Game 3, that'll be Japan taking on Denmark. Great to have you along here on a overcast morning, bit of breeze blowing in from center field. Denmark will be batting first here in the top of the first innings as they get underway. Valdemar Terkelsen just pops this one up to shallow center field. And coming a long way, wind blowing in from center field, as we mentioned, and records the out there for Denmark in the top of the first innings. Terkelsen will be followed in the batting order. It'll be Anton Brown. There'll be the other Terkelsen, Freddie, will be batting 3. Hannes Jorgensen, he'll be in the cleanup spot here for Denmark. And Charlie Jorgenon, he will be batting 5, followed by Simonsen. Running out the order will be Homlin and Lohmann for the Danish national team in this one, game through the Zeister Slot Tournament. This one comes through the top of the zone. A little bit of breeze here, as you can probably hear across the microphone, and that's going to be something to contend with for us orderly, but obviously, of course, for the players out there in the field. Played on the grass, Diamond here, Diamond 2 at Zeister Slide, as we see just rear back. Pull the trigger on that one, does Koyama, records a second out. That's 2 up, 2 down here for Denmark as we get underway in the top of the first. Freddie Terkelsen, seasoned veteran player now internationally, as well as, of course, for the red and white of Denmark. He'll be hitting 3 and will step in from the left-hand side. This one comes up, just misses the top of the zone. Terkelsen, as we mentioned, veteran player, been around a long time, has a fastidious with the strike zone. Just getting the Japanese line up to us coming through at the moment, and we'll give you that in a moment. Just the New Zealand and Japan game just completed, as you just see Japan winning that one in a great matchup. New Zealand coming back in the top of the 7th innings, trailing by 1 run with 2 outs. They level the ball game. Yet for Japan to strike in the bottom of the 7th innings, they walk it off when game number 1, 10 runs to 0. That's Japan's first match 1 win. They go back-to-back here against Denmark, of course. Over on Diamond 1 in the first matchup, saw Netherlands taking on Australia. Remember, Australia, the silver medalists from Whitehorse 2 years ago at the World Championships. Well, they started their campaign here at Zeister Slot with a 10-0 ball game over the Netherlands. So Australia and Japan were the wins so far in the tournament. And the wind just getting up a little bit more here. Out on the elements, of course, a little bit. Little change of pace on the rise ball there. Too high, though. Terkelsen not a short chap, the first baseman. But as we mentioned at the top of the shop, fastidious with the strike zone. Settles in now. This one misses the top of the zone. Looked to throw a high drop ball. Did he check the swing? Yes, he did. Down at third base. And let's get those officials for you. The Arian Dilvervin is the third base official. He calls the strike, and we'll bring Terkelsen back to the batter's box. It'll be a full count on him now. Mariana Prinz behind the dish officiating. Jan Hora from the Czech Republic is down at first base. And Jonas Christensen at second, officiating in the blue crew. Terkelsen just fans that one off. Low lifter on the outside edge. Just about there with the lineup for Japan defensively. We'll give that to you in just a moment. Terkelsen settles back in. Full count, remember. 2 outs here. Ground ball hard goes Oromoto at first base. And Denmark retired 1-2-3 here in the top of the first innings. No score in it. We'll come back with the bottom of the first when Japan.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and dog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home, your own Golden Home.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the first innings here, Japan taking on Denmark. The Japanese will send up at the top of the shop here. We Sui Koirama, who will be followed by Urui Une. Hiroto Ikira will be hitting 3. Koya Kataoka will be hitting the cleanup spot. Daishi Yoromoto, Yusuke Morihita will be hitting in 6. Mitsuru Moyaji hits in the 7th spot. Takuru Takashi was in 8th spot. And Tomohore Une will round order here when we see the first pitch from Kim Hansen comes down from the Danish team. Defensively for Denmark in this one, Martin Simpson, mainstay at centre field. Valdemar Turkelson, he'll be out at left. Anton Brown will be the right fielder. Holman will be at shortstop. Freddie Turkins at first base. We mentioned it's Hannes Svein is at third base. Behind the dish, the big man, the big Dane, great Dane, Jorgensen behind the dish there for Kim Hansen as that rise ball just gets out of the grips there. Kuriyama will go back in to settle in here. Bottom of the first innings, no score thus far in the ball game. Swinging through that one from Kuriyama, Hansen takes care of the first offering from Japan via the strikeout. Of course, up to next here is Rou Une. And if you haven't had the pleasure of watching Japan play softball yet, they are all right-handed throwing, but they predominantly have all developed the left-handed hitting style. We all know the benefits of batting left-handed. That one inside on the hands. Coming forward with a kick, throw over to first base. Comes loose. Une will get first base, beats out the throw. On the throw goes a little ajar. He'll go down the second with that reward as well. Hiroto Ikira now will step in for Japan. One out here, of course. Coaching staff for Japan, and this one head coach Tomoaki Okamoto. First base down there is Hiroshi Yoshimura. And no swing down there as well. Kengo Ture would be taking over the signals at third base. That's the coaching staff for Japan in this one. Aikida, don't be fooled by his size. Plenty of power in the bat here. The player from Japan. Hansen just getting some grip in the back pocket. Leans back now. Drop ball beats him. One, two, the count now on that rise ball offering. Fantastic to be here in the Netherlands, this side of the pond, as that rise ball just ricochets off of the shoulder, close to the batting helmet, to be fair for Aikida, and he will trot down to first base. They'll give him time, of course, to regather his thoughts. That one was too close for comfort. So Hansen starts off with a strikeout, gives off a slow roll, a single, and then hits a pitch. A little bit of trouble here early on in the bottom of the first innings. Settling in now, of course, is Taioa Katoka, the 14. He's taking the single down there from first base. Yakamoto now. So two runners on here for Japan. Rise ball gets over the top, and it'll go through the hole between first and second. They're rounding three. One will come in for sure. Cutting that one off is the first baseman, Turpelson. And Japan strike first here. And game number 3 as they open up the scoring here in the bottom of the first innings. Runners in the corners, of course. 1 run to nil. The first baseman now, Daishi Uramoto, will step in to go to work. Outside edge, runner goes, the pick-off play doesn't work. Safely standing up, Japan at second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Strike called on the batter at least. So with 1 out here, change up in the dirt, not tempting enough for Uramoto. This one outside. So just completing that lineup for Denmark. Second baseman was Lucas Lohmann. The shortstop is, and that will complete their fielding lineup for Japan. For Denmark that we gave you just a little bit earlier. Lineups all completed for you. Thank you so much for getting that organized for us. Hansen, lifter on the outside edge, goes up. And Anis Svane from third base comes a long way. Good communication from the catcher there. Jorgensen couldn't see the ball, caught it early. And the third baseman from Denmark saves the day, takes that catch behind the catcher. Yusuke Morita, the designated player now, will step in to go to work. 2 outs here. Still 2 ducks on the pond in scoring position, of course. On that point, that gives me a chance to bring in my fellow commentator to the game here. None other than the local, Tim Van Berg. Close enough?
Close enough.
All right, great to have you along, my friend Tim. Great to have you along here to the Zeister slot for Game 3.
Thank you very much.
Tim, obviously a very experienced softball player in his own right. Started at a young age, Tim, I believe. 9 years of age, but then went all the way through the ranks playing softball and baseball throughout his career. That include a prestigious title of winning the Europeans for the Netherlands and then representing the Netherlands to 4 World Championships. Comes with a great lot of experience, and you must enjoy this game of softball, Tim.
Yeah, very much. You don't get a chance a lot to see these teams over here in the Netherlands, so should be good fun for all softball lovers.
Well, good fun indeed. Well, the one who's trying to have the most fun right now is Morito, and he's got a low crouch stance, and ground ball goes straight to Tuckerson at first base. And he will record the 3rd out here in the first innings, but not before Toka drives one through the space between first and second base to right field and drives in the first run of the ball game. Japan will leave 1-0. We'll come back in the top of the second in just a short moment.
Stand by, they're about to go. Second fifth spot next was O'Daya, 3-way.
The TAB takes you from wherever you are, right into the race. Melbourne Cup season is here. Join the TAB, deposit $10 and get a $20 bonus with the promo code SPRING. TAB, now you're in the game.
Well, welcome back here, the top of the second innings. Japan looking to strike right back here as they trail by 1-0. They'll send up the catcher, Jorgensen, the Great Dane. He'll lead them off here first. He'll be followed, of course, by Charlie Ulinon, designated player, and Martin Simpson, my old friend out at centre field. Well, joining us in the booth here for Ballpark Broadcasting, Tim, my friend, great to have you along here. What type of game do you think we're going to have today?
I think if Denmark can keep it short, can keep Kimmy in there for a long time, it's going to be a quite close game. Denmark's probably going to depend on the long ball a little bit more, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, Kim Hansen, he's been around for a while now. Veteran pitcher, you'd say.
Yeah, he is. He's their ace, and well, he's helped them along many times in the Europeans and in the world. So let's see how far he can go.
Well, indeed. I remember seeing young Kim Hansen come to New Zealand in his young age, maybe still a teenager at the time, if not at best 21. And came through a little hard throwing right-hander was Kim Hansen. Sometimes a little maybe energetic when it comes to the mental side of the game, but I've seen him now. He's matured into a very senior leader, and he's very cool, calm, and collected. That one comes through the bottom of the zone, and it'll see Jorgensen go down on strikes. They'll give the opportunity, of course, to Charlie Ulinon. Before we go there, let's give you that footing lineup now. We've got it for Japan. We've got Akita out of left foot, Koroi wide centre, Miyagi, that's Matsuro, who will be the starting right fielder. Tsutsui at shortstop, Une, and Inoi. With Uramoto, we go left to right through the infield. Rise ball up top. Tayo Katoya behind the dish for the new rising sun star from Japan. That is Roy Koyama on the hill here today for Japan. Roy Koyama, of course, is the gold medal winner from the under-19 WBSC World Championship. That was in Midland, Michigan 2 cycles ago. He's now matured to the senior program for Japan, and boy, oh boy, has he showed his presence. Drop ball coming in hard in the bottom of the zone to Yulinon. And what do you think about what you see from Koyama so far, Tim?
He's looking very sharp. Good draw ball. And for a young guy, yeah, I'm impressed.
Well, you should be impressed indeed. We saw him come to New Zealand earlier on this year for the TAB Challenge Cup. Koyama gets the start against 2 games against the Golden Homes Black Sox, 2 wins.
Wow.
But the big thing, 14 innings of work, didn't allow 1 run to the New Zealand team over 2 matches. Koyama's the real deal, and he's now the ace for Japan. Loaded count now for Yulinon. He's a veteran hitter as well. This group of Danish players that they've got in their program now, they all seem around the same age. They've come through the junior ranks together, and they're good light, and they seem to be quite stable with their performance.
Yeah, they have a good generation right now. Denmark has quite a good youth program as well, so they had a lot of young players coming through, and they're reaping the benefits now.
Well, that's great to see, isn't it? Because you put that effort in, and we got a dead ball first base. Umpire Jan Hora pulls that one nice and early, working in tandem. Mariana Prins behind the dish, of course, she agrees with him. That one comes off the foot of Yulinon. So Charlie Yulinon, is that also known as Damien, isn't it? Daniel, isn't it?
Daniel,
yeah. Daniel, yeah.
I put down his nickname, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody calls him Charlie.
Fair enough. Well, you know what? We'll go with Charlie. And Charlie drives one up the middle. He does that well. Sits on that hard drop ball from Koyama for the first hit of the ball game here for Denmark. So I guess with the surrendering that run there in the bottom of the first innings, Denmark to Japan, coming out here and trying to answer straight away has got to be the best cause or action, right?
Yeah, it's great fun to be here and getting the opportunity to do this.
Well, it is an opportunity, and the opportunity now rests in the hands of Martin Simonsen. Centre fielder here for Denmark. Takes a hard rise ball from Koyama, not interested whatsoever. Outside the zone, of course. Martin Simpson spent 2 seasons playing in New Zealand for the Northcote Softball Club. Great to have him along down there in Auckland for a couple of seasons there. A great gentleman in the off the field, but an excellent centre fielder and hitter on it as well. Well, the softball here in the Netherlands, Tim. I mean, obviously we are south, around about 45 minutes south of the capital of Amsterdam, and only about 20 minutes away from Utrecht, another great hub here. Whereabouts is the hotbeds of softball in the Netherlands?
Well, the hotbeds is around Haarlem. That's about 15 minutes away from Amsterdam.
Yes.
So it's near there. That's where, well, the biggest softball clubs are for women, and the most baseball clubs are here in the Netherlands. And, well, with men's fast pitch, it's always kind of difficult because we have to compete with baseball here in the Netherlands, and most youth starts playing baseball, and if they do, they make the switch to softball rather late. So you got a lot of catching up to do.
Gotcha. Right. Well, it's transferable skills, and that's what they're looking to do here. Simpson goes down on the strikes, of course, you just saw. That gives the opportunity to the third baseman now with 2 outs, still 1 dock on the pond. And he'll swing through the first offering, does Hannes Svane. Svane?
Yeah, Svane.
Svane, okay. Spotting a decent beard here this weekend, might I add, as the weather starts to come in a little bit. We've had a little bit of rain here this morning. That one's a hard drop ball, comes through the zone. A little bit of rain come through this morning, and just as I say that, Tim's going to flick up the weather radar, give us a little bit of update on what we could expect this weekend. The sun isn't shining, but it's playable. We do have sun good. Drop ball low, misses. So we're in a spot, we're not under the heavy clouds, so that's moved a little bit.
Yeah, we should have some maybe some light rain until 12:30 this afternoon, and after that, it should stay dry for most of the afternoon.
Well, Koyama may have given up the first hit of the ball game to Charlie Yulinon as he drives in up the middle, but the other three hitters, Jorgensen, Simpson and Svane, go down via the strikeout, and Koyama, the real deal already, 4 strikeouts in the game. We'll go to the bottom of the second, Japan leading 1-0.
Your team lose again, bro? I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekends for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old.
Well, welcome back here to the Zeister Slide Tournament as the rain starts to come in a little bit. Top of the second innings. So bottom of the second innings, of course. And that'll see Japan looking to try and pad their lead as they lead this 1-0 at this point. And they will send up Miyagi, the right fielder. He'll be followed by Zitsui and Uinoine, the second baseman. Low lifter from Hansen is picture perfect as that sails through the edge of the corner there. Rise ball up top, not tempting enough for Miyagi.
Kimmy's doing his trademark thing again, even though it's raining, he's wearing his sunglasses.
Well, as they say sometimes, my friend, when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
That's true.
He's cool, calm, and collective as Hansen. He'll take a full count now against Miyagi, though, so he'll have to bear down as the weather bears down just a little bit more. And rise ball's perfect, tempting enough for Miyagi, and he'll go down as we see these two pitchers just trying to lift it up a little bit here. Takuya Satsui, third baseman. Now he'll step in and go to work. Another left-hander. That's unusual for Japan. Well, my man Tim in the booth here with us, calling the colour. Great to have him along here. Tim, you got to see New Zealand take on Japan in the first game. Japan getting the lead in that one in the middle of the game, and then giving up a run to New Zealand in the top of the seventh, but then securing the win in the bottom there to walk it off. What do you think about this Japan side you've seen so far?
Very, very good team, and I think they'll be one of the dark horses on the World Championships for sure.
Rise ball up top, and that seems to be with plenty of spin rate there out of Hansen's hands. And we see another swing and a miss from one of the Japanese players. Hansen's got the right rhythm and motion to make that ball move. And there it is again. If it works once, let's throw it again, Tim. And he picks up another strikeout to start the second innings.
Yeah, the rise ball is probably predominantly his best pitch for Kimmy. So if Japan can't lay off the rise ball, he's going to have a good chance.
Fouling that one off, of course, is the second baseman, Tomonori Ione, as he takes his cuts here. It's a hard-throwing rise ball pitcher from Denmark. Take a little bit of something off that one. Great Dane behind dish, just swapped the balls over for him. So, Tim, this tournament's been in existence now. This is the 36th running. I mean, that's a fantastic achievement to create that type of history of any type of event. And 36 is a big number.
Yeah, it's a very big number. It's a yearly tournament, and we were lucky enough to have American military based here in the Netherlands that would attend the tournament too. So that attracted some attention, and it's always been a place for the European teams to prepare for either Europeans or other tournaments. And, well, now with the Worlds in Prague and teams from across the pond, they have to travel in through Europe, mostly through Amsterdam. So it was a great opportunity for us to get these teams here.
Well, a great opportunity indeed. And obviously just around the corner is the World Championship being hosted in the Czech Republic. We'll bringing you that one. They'll be looking forward to that as well. But this is the first stop in the train station on the way to becoming the world champion. And it's the Zeister slot tournament this weekend. And Ione takes the one outside. Just wanted to double check the count with the home plate umpire. He's got 4 balls. He'll go down to first base. 2 outs here. We'll go back to the top of the shop now. Centre fielder Shea Koroiwa. I've got to say, Tim, the summer in the Netherlands is something to be witnessed. It goes down standing up. Just a little bit of delay there on the throw from Jorgensen behind the dish. And Japan are quick anyway, but maybe just something, maybe didn't get a grip on the ball.
No. He ice-coned it.
He ice-coned it. He did indeed. Talking about ice-cone, the summer weather that you're putting on for us this weekend, tell me it's not the norm.
Nah, it's not the norm. I mean, obviously, Netherlands hasn't got the warmest summers, and it's pretty known for its rain, but it shouldn't be as bad as this right now. And it's a pity because it's going to be a factor on this all-grass field with some of the games that we're going to see here. Balls are going to be wet, and the wind is going to be a factor too with some fly balls.
We know one of the things I like about our great game of softball is that we do play under different weather conditions. Oh, and a nice low lifter from Hansen, and it pops the bottom of the strike zone, pops the cherry of Koroiwa, and he'll have to go back to the dugout. 3 strikeouts. Just the one blemish was the walk to Inone in the second innings. No score from Japan. We'll go to the top of the third. 1-0.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investec Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Bark Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
Well, welcome back here to the Zeister slot tournament. We're up to the top of the third innings, and Japan are going to make a change. They lead this ball game 1-0.
Yeah, they brought in Yuya Yamawaki to come into pitch.
So Roi Koigwa, the rising superstar for Japan on the hill. He goes through 2 innings of work and picks up 4 strikeouts from the 7 batters he faced. And he'll take a rest now. And as we just mentioned, of course, Yuya Yamawaki will be the new pitcher here. Another right-handed pitcher, not the tallest of pitchers, but a big spin rate. And one of the things, if you haven't seen some of the Japanese pitchers throw, they've got a real slingshot move where the hand goes back first to generate some power. Bending that low lift, a bit of curve action works perfectly as it grabs the outside edge here on the shortstop for Denmark. I haven't had the pleasure of seeing this guy too much, Tobias Holmlund.
He's new for me too. Never seen him play for Denmark before, so kind of interesting to see what he can do.
Big swing and a miss, and looks like he maybe comes from a baseball background with that type of lifting swing, but goes down on this one. Well, that'll bring up the second baseman now, Lucas Lohmann. He's one of the young players in this Danish lineup.
Yeah, he is. Not seen him much either, but heard some good stuff from there, the Danes. Drops a bunt.
Yeah, down and in time with the out. That is Katoya from behind the dish, just springs out, picks that one up down to Une at first base. Nice surprise bunt from Lohmann though.
Yeah, just stayed around the plate a little bit too much, so the catcher had a good chance to make the out.
Well, that'll bring up the left fielder now for hit top of the shop again for the Danish team, Valdemar Terkelsen. He flew out to the center fielder, but remember, almost making the catch at shortstop.
First time I see Valdemar with a helmet with protection in front of it, so maybe we should ask why that is.
Yeah, you know what? There's nothing wrong with wearing protection. I think
No.
more players want to do it, and we see that. And sometimes with one of the shin guard on one side of the batting helmet becoming more and more popular now, especially in baseball. We see that a heck of a lot. And you know what? The ball is coming so fast from these pitchers these days, and the catchers are all suited up with gear. Why not the batter? Little change up this time. Hard hit ball from Terkelsen. That goes up the middle of ease, and I tell you what, Yamawaki could have done it with a face guard as that one came back at a great rate of knots.
Yeah, luckily it was low and a little bit to the right, but yeah, there are things that you don't like to see. Players getting hurt by line drives.
No, he's a pretty reactional player anyway, Yamawaki on the dish on the mound, so I'm sure he would have been fine, but great hit there by Terkelsen. Second hit of the ball game for the Danes. Both of them up the middle. Anton Brown now, right fielder, he'll step in to go to work. Now, he's got the chin guard on, we were just talking about. It's the one that comes off the ear of the batting helmet and just shapes around a little bit.
Yeah, it's just extending around the chin area.
No lifter is pitcher perfect from Yamawaki. Went down on strikes, did Brown in his first effort. Of course, that was off Koyama. Remember the pitching change now for Japan. This one fouls off the hands, goes back to the screen. Two diamonds in operation here. We're on Diamond 2 broadcasting the 3 matches this morning. Then we'll shift on over to 1 with a little bit more lead time, we hope, as New Zealand will take on Australia. Pitcher perfect. Yamawaki on the outside edge will sit down Brown. And that'll do the third innings here. Top of course. Can't convert the single by Terkelsen. He's left straight at first base. So Koyama gets a break. Yamawaki comes in, picks up 2 strikes out themselves, and blanks Denmark here in the top of the third innings. Bottom 3 coming up next. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zeister slot. Game 3 here on the schedule. Japan taking on Denmark. And it's Japan with the early lead in this one. And they will send up, of course, as we go to the bottom of the third innings, it is indeed. And a big swing and a miss from the second baseman, Okoyo Une, who'll be followed by Akira and Katoka. The catcher 1-2-3 here for Japan in the third innings. Drop ball's perfect on the outside edge. And Tim, you mentioned that the weather would clear up around about 12:30 here local time. And right on the money, ever so persistent. I see the weather has changed and it's got a bit finer.
Yeah, maybe I should change careers and be a weatherman.
Well, the weatherman has no help there for Una. He goes down a hard drop ball from Hansen.
Yeah, he seems to have good control, Hansen, so they're in for a tough time, the Japanese.
Well, good pitching will get you a long way in an event, and Hansen is a good pitcher for sure for Denmark. Akira, of course, he was hit by pitch.
Good low rise on the outside.
Nice confident call behind the dish too. Mariana Prinz. First time getting to see her officiating. WBSC accredited. All the umpires are here. There's that rise ball from Hansen. Public enemy number 1 for Japan today, as he will pick up another strikeout, and they are putting them up in a hurry here. 4 strikeouts on the board thus far. 5 strikeouts, apologies, for the Danish pitcher, Kim Hansen.
Yeah, Kim doesn't waste time. He attacks his own, and, well, the rise ball does the work for him.
Katoka swings through that drop ball on the inside edge. Tempting outside this time from Hansen. Not enough, though, for Kataoka as he lays off. Little knuckleball change up out of Hansen. Don't see that every often, Tim.
I didn't even know he had that one.
Ah, there you go. Everyone's still learning. Everyone's still developing, right? You don't show all the cards out of the suitcase in one game. Just fights that one off, Kataoka. First baseman gets it, and
can't get there in time.
Unfortunately for Lolman, the second baseman, it's one of those ones where if it gets past Turkelson at first base, he's got to collect it, and kind of paused a bit too long there. Couldn't get to his assignment back at first base. Fine dive by Turkelson.
You just got to hold back for a little right there when you're second baseman and you got to cover first base, and just couldn't get there in time.
He did indeed. So infield single for Kataoka, the catcher, with 2 outs. They'll bring on a runner for him. But up to bat now will be the first baseman, Daishi Uramoto. So on the outside edge, the throw, the inside edge, the slide, and he is safe.
Quite comfortably, actually. So I think we'll see more running from the Japanese once they get on base.
And that one goes foul with the wind, just pushes it out of the way. So Uramoto will get another life here. And of course, out there running for the catcher is the left fielder Hiroto Ikeda. So that's an upgrade in pace. He was the batter before the catcher with a 2-down runner situation. So upgraded pace for Japan in scoring position at 2. Uramoto with another life at the dish. Two down here though, Tim. Just the out needed, right?
Yeah, just the one out needed.
And Uramoto swinging through that change-up. This one, the drop change, more methodical coming out of the hands of Hansen.
But with the speed of the Japanese, a hit could score on easily here.
Fouled. This one will go back out of play here. And so Uramoto still working hard. Hansen working hard on the dish. We do see some action in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's Valdemar, who's kind of warming up. So not sure what the plan is for the Danish.
Well, the good thing, I guess, for Denmark, they've got a hard-throwing right-hander, and then they've got Valdemar Turkelsen, the left fielder in this one. He's warming up. So he gives them option from both sides of the plate.
Yeah, and maybe just insurance. Maybe they got a plan just to keep Kimmy in there for maybe a max of 4 innings, because they're obviously going to need him more along the tournament.
Well, they will indeed, and that low lifter just comes back. Uramoto now starting to find the barrel a little more on every pitch here out of the hands of Hansen. Well, Denmark, though, will have 3 matches today, taking on Japan now. They'll back that up with the game against the Netherlands. That's going to be the big rubber match. We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. And then in the 7 o'clock game, they'll take on South Africa. So 3 games for Denmark here on day 1. After travel day this morning, they flew in from Denmark, right?
Yeah, they just flew in this morning, and they just got here in time, like half an hour before the game. So.
Little dribbler and Hansen, no jet lag in those legs as he runs over, scoops it up, throws it over in time, and the single to the catcher Katoka has been nullified, and another 0 put up on the board by the Japanese team. Kim Hansen and the Danish boys doing a great job. Just the one blemish, the one run in the first innings. That's our scoreline. Top 4 coming up next.
Your team lose again, bro? I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekends for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old. So take time with the ones you love. Take time with
And konnichiwa, our friends from Tokyo and Osaka, and of course Aotearoa. But the one that I forgot to mention, of course, which I want to, Vorengode, to all of my friends in Denmark. Great to have you along here. I'm Jason Gerbies, aka Chopper, having you along for the Zeister slot tournament. Joining me in the booth is Tim Van Boord, and my friend here from the Netherlands. He's got all the local knowledge, 4-time world participant for the Netherlands team at the World Championship level. Won the Euros as well, and played both baseball and softball, and also coached the women game.
Yeah, for 2 years. I coached Terrasvogels, that's a top women team here in the Netherlands. And it was, well, fun to do and to switch to the other side a bit.
Well, it is indeed, and then the great thing about softball, we tend to be people that give back a lot, and passing on that experience that you've gained playing this great game of softball at the highest level as well to those ladies must have been just a definite treat.
Yeah, and it's, well, softball here in the Netherlands is also a very small community, so everybody knows each other most of the time. So, yeah, but it would be good if we could mix it a little bit more, like help each other out a little bit more.
Sure.
Men's and women's.
Yep. I like that. Lend a helping hand. Why not, right? Well, Turkelsen gets on the outside drop ball. It'll go weak to Una at second base. He'll make the throw over in time from an outstretch Uramoto.
Great recovery from first base.
Linus Jorgensen, the Great Dane, he'll step in to go to works next, number big 95, as he'll take his cuts here against Yamawaki, the replacement pitcher for Koyama, who started this one for Japan, went 2 innings of work, of course. And Yamawaki with a clean sheet through his innings, the third, as we're up to the top of the 4th now. Japan leading 1-0, so Denmark are right in this ball game. Change up from Yamawaki, coming out of the back of the hand by the looks.
You obviously see Japan a lot more, and they seem to have changed their game a lot as well, because when we played them, well, I haven't played them for a while, but they were really well known for the short game, but they seem to have embraced the long ball as well.
Yeah, well, Japanese are an interesting bunch to watch play, aren't they? They're not the tallest of statures of people, but however, they tend to use their whole body and all of their action, whether it be throwing, running, and especially hitting. So they tend to coil their bodies a bit more, and don't be fooled about their size. They have plenty of power, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have power, yeah.
Great Dane just fouls that one off. Hot shot over the right. So the first base dugout, almost to right field. Inside.
Takes ball 4.
There you go. Jorgensen, the Great Dane, steady with that, fighting off a couple, and picks up the walk. That'll be the 3rd base runner of the ball game for the Danish team. And we'll see if they can convert here. Only 2 hits in the ball game thus far. One of them going to Charlie Yulmanon, and he'll get his second opportunity now.
Yeah, he's one of their veteran hitters. Pretty dangerous at the plate.
Does indeed. Well, it's good to get moving some. It keeps you warm, you know, when you get to stand up, walk around, feel the rhythm. And we want the rhythm now from Charlie Yulanon, because he's the man for the job here. Denmark are going to get it back into this ball game. One swing of the bat from Yulanon, he's got the power. He can get them in the lead.
Yeah, he hits for power, but on 2 strikes he can be pretty defensive as well and just drive it. So just looking for a good pitch to hit here. Change up.
Yes, indeed. Just putting it in the back of the mind of Yulanon here. You know something hard's coming next. Yulanon steps back here. Yamawaki rears back. And the lifter on the outside edge is perfect. Pins rings him up, and Yulanon will take his poison and walk back to the dugout.
Simonson's up next.
Martin Simonson, big tall centre fielder. Can he bring the warmth of the bat here? We'll find out as he'll take his opportunity.
Stays off the drop ball.
Jorgensen, the catch, is still running at first base here. 2 outs now. Just going at the lifter. Simonson will want to do something a little bit better with that offering. Settles in now, does Simonson. Yamawaki working quickly. This time the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, just got the inside corner.
Like all good pitches and catches of the battery there. Looking to use both sides and change the pace.
Yeah. Will be also interesting to see how some of the pitchers will adapt to, well, other umpires. Sometimes in Europe, umpires are a little, well, more strict with the zone. It's more squared. Where I know back in New Zealand and Japan and Australia, they tend to get a little bit more on the outside. So let's see how they handle that.
Right. Well, you know what? Everyone, it doesn't matter where you play, whether you play this side of the world, the other side, the top or the bottom, all the players ever want is just consistency back there. And you know what? These umpires who got here in attendance this week, they're excellent. And they will be consistent. If the zone is tight either side, they'll stay with it. But the good thing is the players will know that as well. And everyone's happy when that happens.
Yeah, as long as they stay consistent, nobody's, everybody's fine with it.
And this drop ball, though, misses too low, and that's a good call behind the dish. There's that consistency you're talking about, Tim. The low lifter in a similar location is good, but it's just up a bit. But the drop ball dips, of course, and rightly so, efficient with the strike zone. Great to have you along here, Tim. Local knowledge just paying off again. The big Great Dane gets up and running down to first base on the delivery, of course. Loaded situation. He goes back to first a little slower, though.
he needs to catch his breath.
Outside edge picks up the strike from Simpson, and he'll go down. 2 strikeouts for him today. He won't be happy about that. Denmark strand another one. 3 innings, 3 runners left on here for Denmark. Could be the deciding factor. We'll find out. Bottom of the 4th coming up next. Japan leading Denmark 1-0.
Stand by, they're about to go. Second fifth spot next was O'Daya.
The TAB takes you from wherever you are, right into the race. Melbourne Cup season is here. Join the TAB, deposit $10 and get a $20 bonus with the promo code SPRING. TAB, now you're in the game.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the blustery Zeister slot here in game number 3. But the rain is gone. We're happy about that. The game continues here. And a real tight matchup. 1-0 Japan leading us as we go through to the 4th innings here. Bottom of course, Kim Hansen. Excellent through 3 innings of work. Just the one blemish, 1 run in the first innings that he allowed on Katoya Aka. The catcher drove in that run. And since then, they've blanked Japan every time, and they're going to make a change there. Coming in from left field will be Valdemar Turkelson, who was warming up in the bullpen, sporting a face mask. We found he's got a broken nose. We had a batting cage on as he was working. So, tough man is Turkelson, Valdemar, and he takes over from the dish.
So that's why he was wearing a face mask, because normally he doesn't. So you could see something was going on, and now we know why.
Yeah, now we know why for sure. Nice drop ball there from Turkelson. Obviously, the other change is defensively for Denmark.
Good change-up.
Remember. And so moving over from centre is Martin Simpson. He'll go to left now. Freddie Turkelson moves from first base to centre field. And into the ball game,
Alejandro Wong.
Alejandro Wong. Welcome to the ball game, sir. He's at first base.
Not a typical Danish name, so should be interesting. What's the story behind that one?
What, the Alejandro or the Wong?
Both, actually.
All right, fair enough. Here we go. Dip that one in your Danish pastry. Warm it up with a cappuccino. And there goes Turkelson, picks up Moriata for the first down of the innings here in the fourth. Miyagi Matsuo, he'll be the next one up here for Japan. Turkelson from left side, first time seeing him, looks good.
Yeah, he looks solid. And
what we were saying before when he was warming up the bullpen, Tin, having an option from the left and right side really makes it difficult for the batters.
yeah, it does. The approach is a lot different, and the angles are a lot different, so it takes some time to adjust. Let's see how the Japanese will do.
I'd say the Japanese are happy to see that rise ball from Hansen to leave the ball game, because he had that thing going there for a while.
Yeah, that was working very well for him.
Miyagi swinging the bat, gets the swagger on. As Turkelson just misses the bottom of the zone. Smile on the face of the broken nose, and Turkelson wearing the face guard here. It looks a little different, but you know what? He's a tough man to get out there with a broken nose to start with anyway.
Oh, good pitch. Just missed on the inside, probably. Voldemort wanted that pitch.
Not too many pitchers who don't want to pitch, that's for sure, do they? Come on, Blue. That's got to be there. At $1 for every time you heard that at a ballpark.
Ah, yeah.
Here comes Turkelson this time.
It's always like a game within a game between a pitcher, a catcher, and an umpire. You'll see catchers talking to the umpire throughout the game, asking, well, it's just a little bit on the inside, a little too low, a little too high, making sure that they get the blue on their side and they start calling the pitch they want.
I'd say what the great thing I like about the game of softball is you see it's some codes where they get so animated at the umpires, and it doesn't tend to happen in softball as much. And I like that. We saw Daniel Yulinon or Charlie strike out on a pitch he maybe thought might have been outside the zone. Didn't argue, just walked off and took his treatment. And that's about respect, and I love that in the game of softball. They respect each other and the sport. We've got to take some respect from Turkelson as that drop ball pours through. And he picks up the strikeout of Miyagi.
Most of the time, you see it doesn't work when you get mad about something, and you know as long as it's not your third strike. I mean, obviously, if it's your third, you're gone and you can't do nothing more. But if it's just the first or the second, okay, you'll take it and you take the knowledge with you and know, okay, I gotta adjust. That's gonna be a strike, and if it's a strike for the rest of the day, I gotta hit it, because if I can't, I'm going to be walking up and down to the bench every time. Hey, that's an illegal pitch call.
Legal pitch from call from behind the dish, and we all know that normally means it's a lack of pause. Yeah, no pause. There you go. Just to confirm by home plate umpire Pins. She caught it nice and early too.
Yeah.
And the official rule, of course, you've got to pause in front of the body for a moment period in time, and then make your delivery. This one pops up. It'll go out of play. And that pause, of course, can be either on the side or in the front of the body, but you've got to have a pause there.
Somewhere.
Yeah. So still working hard in here. Satsui, third baseman. Here comes the 1-2.
Another changeup from Voldemort.
Little outside action. Satsui working into a positive count now. 1-3. Looks like we got another change defensively. Just missed that in the infield here as well for Denmark.
Yeah, Svanov, he switched over the shortstop.
Has indeed. Got a new man in the ball game, number 65 at third base. I know you see you, Tim. Look, you're scary to find the lineup for us.
I'm going to try and
Thanks,
find
buddy.
it very quick.
That's why it's good to have you here, my friend.
Milner has replaced at third base.
Ah, okay. So
Duncan
Milner It's coming to the ball game as we sit, so we pick up the walk. So he'll come into the ball game, replies Tobias Homlin if you're keeping score at home here on this one. Anis Feina will move from third base over to shortstop because Milner will take over at third base. Duncan, there you go. Yone now takes the first pitch on the outside edge.
Decent attendance here at this game, even though the weather's not that good.
Yeah, the crowd's fantastic, and it's great to have them along. Great to have you along at home to watch this one as well. Yone, second baseman here, Tamanori, picked up the walk his first trip up. This is second effort, of course. Game seems to have just slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, let's see if the Japanese are going to run again.
That one comes through the top of the zone.
Jurgensen, decent catcher. Hasn't got the best arm in softball, but
he's an imposing figure, the Great Dane, behind the dish, and that's probably going to put the brakes on a little for any runner. Zitsui is running at first base. He is a threat to steal. And that one comes through and picks up the bottom of the zone. So it's Turkelson, the lefty, comes in. One blemish might be the walk, but three batters were out, and they were all out via the strikeout. Pass mark for Turkelson. Another donut for the men from the Rising Sun. We'll go now to the top of the fifth innings, halfway through this one, and we'll be back. Japan leading 1-0. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zeister Slot Tournament, and a tight one here. The two great nations, Japan taking on Denmark. The boys from the land of the Rising Sun strike first in the top of the first innings, and they have the lead in this one, 1-0. It's been a tight ball game ever since. Well, the Danish boys have used two pitchers, Hansen and Turkelson. Well, Japan will go one more. They start with Koyama. Yamawaki comes in for two, and now they'll hand over to Mizuki Terabaru, who takes over on the dish.
Yeah, it looks like every pitcher is going to get 2 or 3 innings of work in.
We all know the World Championship starts next week. And Terabaru with a bit of pace there on the outside edge, missing the strike zone. With the Danish, they'll set up the shortstop, followed by the third baseman, then the second baseman, so it's the infield trio will get them started here. And Sveina, Milne, and
that's a hit.
There you go. The shortstop gets the ball rolling first. Svana Hannes, you'll be happy lead-off hit here. First time Denmark have done that, a lead-off hit. A third hit of the ball game, nevertheless.
Now we'll see if the Danish are going to switch to the small ball.
Well, they will indeed. Well, remember the new replacement, young Duncan Milner. So big opportunity for him here. Comes into the ball game to third base. Now batting from the left-hand side. Will he go with a short game? What do you think?
I think they're going to put the bunt down.
Will Japan pride themselves on being efficient in the field? Will they be put to test here?
Yeah, they will be.
Ball's too high to go at that one. Pushes a little, does Milner.
As we can see, first base is moving in rather quickly, so to have a chance, he needs to put it down along the third baseline.
This one's outside. Both first and third crashing for Japan. Arnes Fona running at first, trying to get into scoring position. The red and white of Denmark trying to tie this one up here in the fifth.
Just misses again. 2 strikes here. And now you see how important the bunt is in a softball game to advance a runner from first to second base to get him in scoring position.
Well, it sure is. It's those fundamentals that you always like to see put into play. He'll have to do it the fun way now, Mil. Drop ball outside, and he does get him across
This
anyway.
will work too.
And that's going to get the dug up out here for the Danish team. They can smell an opportunity.
Great opportunity here with 2 strikes.
Young Duncan Milner. Biggest opportunity is ball time career for sure. He sits back. The 2, Lindback. Outside this time, the count is now loaded. Arnes Fona, scoring position at 2. And he gets it on the hands, inside out swing. It'll go to left field, it bounces once. Svana rounds 3, he's coming for home. Chugging in, and Denmark tie the ball game.
There you go. Good job of making just contact with the ball, put it in play. And Denmark scores.
Well, they do indeed, and they score in a big way. We talked about young Duncan Milner being a massive opportunity in his career there. Can't get the sacrifice bunt down. Hey, let's just do it the fun way. I'll drive it to left field for a double, and we'll tie the ball game.
There you go.
The kid is smiling ear to ear here. Denmark's smiling ear to ear. The game is tied 1 run apiece. That'll bring up the second baseman now, Lucas Lohmann. And he'll crouch down with his stance to see if they can't now grab the lead. Denmark, big opportunity. Terabatu misses with another pitch. Terabatu, the third pitcher of the ball game, remember. Koyama, the star, goes first. Yamawaki comes in. He's gone now with a replacement. Koyama can come back, of course, if they wish. Unable to get the sacrifice done, down again here. This time Lohmann falling victim to that delivery. Jens Tikkelsen, assistant coach down first base, just giving advice. Bunt is good. No choice but to go to first base for Terabatu. So Lohmann with a pass marks. It's the 2 youngsters getting the job done here. Following on from the veteran Svana with the leadoff hit to right field. Remember, it's 1, 2, 3, 3 pass marks in a row for Denmark. Now the run is only 60 feet away from scoring. We go back to the top of the shot.
Yeah, and with Valdemar in there, I mean, he's a good hitter. He'll try and put it in the outfield, maybe a fly ball, just a sacrifice fly to get the running.
Vladimir Turkelson, he's a gamer, we know that for sure. 1 from 2 of the day, both to centre field, a catch and a single. Outside this time from Terabaru. With one out here, third base, the go-ahead run for Denmark. This is the big moment.
Yeah, if they can capitalize here, then they'll have a good chance.
This one's on the outside edge of the top of the zone this time. That mixes the count 1-1. Brown is on deck, waiting his opportunity. 2 strikeouts to him. Outside. Terabaru saying outside. 2 low, 1 high. One of them a strike. Terabaru. Change up, check swing, goes down the third baseline. Foul though.
Good one to mix it up.
Milner at third base, poised to come home. Count level, of course, at this point. One down here for the boys from Denmark. Tied up 1 apiece. Hard ball to first base. Can they make a play at home? He's got him in the hot box. Down to go. And the tag is applied in the hot box, of course, by the youngster running Milner from third base. But the obviously the batter there, Turkelson takes, though, while they're in that battle with the rundown play, he'll go all the way to second base.
He takes advantage of it, and good running on him.
Of course, officially on the books, it's a fielder's choice by Uramoto, the first baseman, to not apply the tag or get the out of Turkelson to make sure that Duncan Milner doesn't score from third base there, and they get him in the hot box and they get him out for sure. In this case for Milner, probably a bit guilty going too far in that situation.
Yeah, maybe.
But you know what? He'd be happy with what he did offensively anyway. Anton Brown now has an opportunity to do something offensively because, as we mentioned, Turkelson is in scoring position at 2. 2 outs here, though. Brown now settles in. Terabaru leans back. Change up. That's another knuckleball. Henson brings it out in the second innings.
They imitate him.
Well, Terabaru says, I got one of those puppies.
I'll show you.
I'll show you what I got. Knuckleball works, gets it in the zone. In the hole now for Brown. And the drop ball on the outside is perfect. Brings out the sombrero for Anton Brown. 3 strikeouts on the day for him. But not before. It's the youngsters come to the party here. Anderson starts him off with a single to right field. And then Duncan Milner, for the biggest at-bat of his career, drives one to left field for a double and brings in the tying run. This one's all locked up. 1 run apiece. Bottom of the 5th coming up next.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old.
Well, as Tom Jones brings us back at the ballpark, Tom Jones is playing. It's not unusual to have some fun when you come to the Zeister slot tournament. And some fun indeed, as Denmark's just tied this puppy up in the top of the 5th innings. Let's see what Japan will reply with as they get going here. They'll send up Koirewa, Une, and Akira. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 5th innings. Denmark make a change in the field themselves. Second baseman Lucas Lohmann, he'll come out and get a rest. Into the ball game will be Jakob Berger. Jakob looks more of a senior player.
Yeah, probably a defensive switch to
some stability.
To get more stability and lock it up more. And maybe they saw something again, also with the taking over of first base, bunch situations. Just a little bit more experience, probably.
And it's also good, right? This is game 1 of the tournament. You want to get your guys off the plane, get them here. They got up early this morning, right? They probably are up at 4 o'clock in the morning or something to get to the airport in time and get all locked in, fly down here, get from Amsterdam and come across to Zeist. And you want to get all your guys out there, get the blood flowing, and get them going for the tournament.
Get the blood flowing and you know, let them settle in. Good hit here from...
Well, it is indeed, with the blood flowing out of Koirewa as he leads off here in the top of the 5th innings through the 5-6 hole. Well, I tell you what, sometimes you just got to lay the chips out and let them fall where they fall. Koirewa leads off the 5th. One now, all locked up in the top of the 5th innings, of course. And it brings up the shortstop, Ryo Une. Will Japan bring the running game back out again? Now this one's locked up. This one comes through the bottom of the zone.
They're going to try and butt him over. Signs coming from first base with the Japanese.
Yeah, they are. And, of course, over at first base is Hiroshi Yoshimura giving out the signals down there. Kengo Ture assisting him at third base. He's also the battery coaches today. Got to have Kengo in New Zealand for a couple of seasons, pitcher in his own right. Ground ball. Goes to second base. I mean, that veteran leadership from Berger, just not worrying about the runner there, makes the play, tosses it over in time. I got it.
Getting the out, making sure. Grass slows the ball down a bit too. Didn't have a chance at second base, so didn't even try.
Yeah, just about making sure to take what you got, right?
Yeah.
Just the same, you got two queens on the blackjack table. Don't split them, right? You're already there. You don't have to do anything extra. All right, here we go then. Back to the action here, top of the 5th innings. Japan, of course, with the runner in scoring position on the ground out by Une. And they'll send up Hiroto Ikeda now. Drop ball from the lefty, Valdemar Terkelsen. Replacement pitcher for Denmark. Taken over in the 4th innings. This is 2nd innings of work. Kim Hansen, the starter. And a swing and a miss. Little inside curve action on the low lifter out of Terkelsen. Just seems to mix his pitches up, both sides of the plate.
Yeah, both sides of the plate. He mixes up speed a lot as well. Yeah, he's more of a movement pitcher than speed pitcher. So, yeah, he has to take what he can get.
And this one's outside this time by Terkelsen, lifter. So still using every part of his arsenal to keep these Japanese players at bay here. Locked up 1 run apiece here in the bottom of the 5th innings, of course. So a big opportunity for the boys from the red and white of Denmark.
Ball.
That one just a little loose, high drop ball, just missing his location there a little bit. Well, we've seen plenty of pitching changes by the Japanese team, 3 of them so far within the ball game, 3 pitches, of course. Denmark in their second. We see some action again in the Danish bullpen.
Yeah, that's Lohman right there that's warming up. So probably doing the same tactics as the Japanese, trying to get as much pitchers in the first game to get them warmed up and get them adjusted. And so everybody's ready for this number 2 game and the number 3 game.
Well, then that's why we see the move where Berger comes in defensively at second base, allows Lohman to come off, get warmed up as an opportunity or a possibility for the Danish team if they so wish. Yeah. Riseball's perfect out of Turkison this time, and he's doing a great job himself. Picks up his 4th strikeout through his 2 innings of work so far. Up to bat now will be the catcher. He had a nice hit through 2 from 2 today, I should say. One to first base on that diving play from Turkison, and the other one was a hard hit to right field. And he hard hit again.
Fouls it off.
Kataoka goes down the right field line. So he's definitely got his eye in today, does the catcher from Japan.
As the rain starts pouring down a bit more, so.
Well, I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it, Tim.
Nah, I'm not. I wasn't totally right, was I? So that career as a weatherman is out the window too now.
You know what? You're doing a fine job, my friend. It's great to have you along and great to have your experience, especially your international experience here from the Ballpark Broadcasting crew on this one. Turkison now. Drop ball is high. Kataoka just looks locked in. The rain is coming down, so he's just drying the bat handle to make sure he's got full control over the wand in his hands. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th innings, even though the runner's in scoring position for Japan. Can Denmark get themselves out of jail yet another time in this ball game?
With the rain, ball's getting wet too. You see Valdemar asking for a new ball. Just making sure that he has good grip and can hit the spot that he wants to.
Well, the match balls here are all full WBSC official balls here that they'll be using next week at the World Tournament in the Czech Republic. So that's great to see the tournament organisers thinking along those lines on what's required, what they want to be doing as teams and as pitchers, using the right balls, getting the right games in. It's all in preparation for next week.
Yeah, we got in touch pretty early with over there to ask what ball they were using. To allow pitchers to get used to that ball and use it here too. So, yeah, everybody happy, I think.
Everybody's happy, that's for sure. That's what happens when you come to the Netherlands. That's what happens when you come to Zeist, this slot tournament. Droppel gets loose this time, can't handle it. Turkelson, the Great Dane, Jorgensen goes back and gets the ball. Of course, at the same time, that's going to allow Koroiwa to scamper down to third base. And with that, I think the home plate umpire, Mariana Pins, forgot her jacket, and she's going to call a break and play so she can go find that jacket and allow that sunshine to come on back, Tim. Well, Tim, before we go away, we're going to stay on air, of course, through this. We're up to the bottom of the 5th innings here. Japan scored the first run in the bottom of the 1st innings, and it took all the way until we got right on down for Denmark, of course, in the top of the 5th innings, which we've just seen, to answer back to tie this ball. Did you think you'd envisage this would be the scoreline, 1 run apiece in the 5th innings between these two nations?
Well, if the pitching for Denmark was going to be spot on as it is right now, they have a good chance of keeping Japan close, and that's what's happening. And well, Denmark is making the most out of their opportunities with getting people on base, so good on them. And it's still everybody's ball game at this point.
Well, it is indeed. It's still anybody's ball game. We're all locked up, 1 run apiece. Bottom of the 5th innings, we've got a short rain delay as the umpire goes and gets a jacket. We'll find out what will happen when we come back. We'll take a quick break and back to you shortly. Bottom of the 5th innings, Japan are batting and the score is locked up, 1 run apiece with them and Denmark.
Your team lose again, bro? I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekend's for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
about to go. Second fifth spot next was O'Daya, 3 wide.
The TAB takes you from wherever you are, right into the race. Melbourne Cup season is here. Join the TAB, deposit and get a $20 bonus with the promo code SPRING. TAB. Now you're in the game.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old. So take time with the ones you love. Take time with the ones you love.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a Rugby League Grand Final, a Grand Slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, whose dog barked Twain.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zeister Slot Tournament. Bottom of the 5th innings, rain delay over and done. We're all warmed up, ready to go. You know what? Because that's just the way we roll. And as Tilkerson continues to go to work here. And just misses outside 3-1 count, of course, carried over for Katioka. So he'll pick up a walk now and trot down to first base. That'll bring up the first baseman, Daishi Uramoto. And if you've just caught up with the broadcast, Japan got a start in the bottom of the first innings, picking up a run there. Then the men from the Great Danes, the infield, second base, shortstop, third base, they got them started. Started with the shortstop with a single. Then the third baseman with the double to left scores the shortstop. And the third baseman coming, he got a hit. So it was bang, bang, bang. And the end result, Denmark tying this ball game up. I'm Jason Kirby's a.k.a. Chopper. Great to have you along here for the ride on this one for game number 3 between Denmark and Japan. With me in the booth in the Ballpark Broadcasting, assisting with Kara, is Tim Van Bergen.
Yeah.
No, you tell me the last name. You say it.
It's not getting any better.
No, it isn't. You tell me how to pronounce his last name.
Verbrugge.
Verbrugge. There you go. It's much easier saying it just after he said it, isn't it? Well, you know what? Verbrugge, Tim, the 4-time world champion participation effort for the Netherlands, representing this great nation, having his knowledge and experience here for this great game of softball is great indeed. Well, as we know, the first baseman, Uramoto, taking over here for Japan. 2 outs, of course. Runners in the corners now. Japan trying to get the lead. Well, I think at the top of the shop before the game, Tim, if I'd asked you, would you think it'd be a one-run ball game between these two teams, or 1-1, I should say, come the bottom of the fifth innings? Would we have seen that? I don't know, but you know what? That's what we have. What a great game it's been so far.
Yeah, it's good defense, good pitching, and it stays tight. So good opportunity here for the Japanese with runner in scoring position.
Well, we saw Japan holding down their middle once they'd given up the tide in New Zealand in game 1 here. And they win it in the bottom of the 7th with a walk-off hit. So they know how to perform when you're under pressure.
Yeah. A lot of experience with the Japanese, of course. So let's see if they can make the most out of this situation. It's got to be tough on Denmark, too, now with runners in the corners. So you get a lot of movement.
Hard hit ball and a great dodge by as everyone's smiling. I love that about the Japanese. Yoshimura down at first base takes a dive out of the way, does the coach. 2 down, of course. Turkison on the mound, just looking for that ground out.
And we're off.
And comes out of the mouth of Turkleson. And then in any language, you know what that is. He is pumped, and so he should be. Denmark keep the tie alive. Leave 2 stranded on for Japan. The rain delay comes and goes. But you know what? This game will continue. We'll go to the 6th. Locked up 1-1, Japan and Denmark.
Your team lose again, bro? I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekend for calls. Make yours at TAB coding bid.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old. So take time with the ones you love. Take time with the ones you love.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's a fairy tale story, that's for sure. Denmark are locked up. 1 run apiece here. Top of the 6th innings. And it'll be Freddie Turkleson taking on the might of Japan and Terabaru. Terabaru loose one first in his offering. Goes outside. Freddie Turkleson, the most experienced ball player in this team. A little older now, of course. But clutch hitter, especially in the prime of his career. Change up, not tempting enough. It's too low anyway.
Freddie, a very experienced hitter. One of the few Europeans that attends the ISCs every year.
Here's a hard line drive from Turkleson. Going back, and that is gone! Freddie Turkleson, the most experienced ball player out of Denmark, comes clutch yet one more time for Denmark. They lead the ball game. 2 runs to 1.
You called it.
Well, we saw the younger brother, Turkleson, come now as he gets the strikeout of Uramoto. And then his brother says, I've got you, come now, as he blasts that one over left field. Denmark lead the ball game 2 runs to 1. Well, the fairy tale story just continues here. And now the Great Dane steps in. That is the catcher, Jorgensen.
Starting aggressive as well after that home run, going after the first pitch.
Well, it's infectious, isn't it? one of those things, and I see that, when you're passing on the game and coaching, especially coaching kids, attitude is something you choose.
Yeah.
And, skill and all those things, that comes and goes, and talent or whatever the case is, but attitude's the one thing you can command. The young Turkelson helps on the mound. The older Turkelson helps from the batter's box.
Yeah, and when you feel like you gain momentum, you try to make the most of it, and you get pumped, and you're like, okay, what he can do, I can do too. So let's see if Jurgensen can come up with a hit as well.
Tedabadu, he will try to bear down here from the men from the rising sun. On the handle. And they'll make the play over in time. Good location from Tedabadu on that one. Jurgensen grounds out the third base. Well, Alessandro Wong now, he will bat for himself. Of course, Charlie Ulanon was the designated player, and so they will allow Wong here to swing that wand for himself. Drop ball down. International flavour. This Danish team, as people migrate to different countries, and none more so than, of course, we've got Jens Turkelson, who's been involved with the national team for such a long time. He's assistant coach now. He stepped aside because the new man for the role, 6 years in the country only, and that is Rashad, USA, but now resident in Denmark.
Yeah, probably got in a little bit more experience. Well, Jens's experience, of course. I used to play him when he was a member himself of the Danish national team. But yeah, good to mix it up, I think. Get a new face in front of your team, and maybe get some other energies flowing through your team, and see what you can do.
Exactly. And as that one's too low, we see the level head from Alejandro Wong there, just not going at anything outside the zone, and Zeblizo picks up the walk.
Simonson coming up to bat.
Not the best day so far for Martin Simonson. I got a chance to pop into their dugout just quickly to catch up with their coach, and as I brushed past him, I said, hit the ball one time. So let's see if he hits the ball one time.
He can.
He sure can. This one's down. Plenty of signals coming out of Eldridge, the head coach for Denmark, over at third base at this point. Looking to create something here, Denmark. Just tied the ball game here in the top of the sixth. Swing and a miss. And he's caught out. And can he get back? No, he can't. And Wong, unfortunately, went out there, just slid a little bit as he tried to turn around and couldn't get back in time. And unfortunately, the good work of that walk's been erased.
Catcher saw it, reacted immediately, threw it down to first, and they got him.
Breeze is up again. You might hear that on the microphone from time to time. Change up, and it grabs the inside edge, little floating action.
And there you see wet field, all grass. Spikes not working like they're supposed to, and
well, working like they're supposed to. That's what Tedabadu says as he applies that to pick up the strikeout of Simonson, but not before. It's Freddie Turkelson puts a charge into one, and the Danish boys have locked us up 1 run apiece. Bottom six coming up. Denmark and Japan. Level score.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller. Loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Blikkerburg and 2 Investec Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Bark Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
Your team lose again, bro? I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekend's for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In the bottom of the sixth innings, we got a little locked up, one run apiece here, in and out of the rain a little bit. But I tell you what, not in and out of the action, because both of these teams have been putting their best foot forward, using 6 pitches through the contest, 3 for Japan and now 3 for Denmark, as we see a change. Valdemar Turkelson goes through 2 innings of work, both scoreless in his efforts. We obviously had Hansen started the ball game, just the 1 run in the bottom of the first innings, offered up. They'll now go to their 3rd pitcher, Denmark, and Lucas Lohmann. Right-handed pitcher, Tim. What do we know about Lucas?
Not much, actually. Not me. It's one of the new guys on the team. Young guy. Good rise ball, as we can see right there. And, well, let's just see how he handles himself through the first batter, and if he can settle down and keep up the good work for Denmark.
Well, that's it indeed. It's about keep on applying your trade here. And Denmark have the confidence to go to Lohmann in this situation. Probably not very often. We've seen Denmark with a tied ball game so late in a match between these two nations. Japan, respectfully, with Denmark. Japan, ranked number 3 in the world. And Denmark is somewhere in the
9-10?
Yeah, around the 9 to 12 mark, somewhere in that range. So there is a gap between them for sure. And there is no gap in this ball game here. They'll go to the youngster, though. And a hot shot goes straight to the other youngster, Duncan Milne. Boy, oh boy, he's had himself a ball game since he's come in.
Yeah, he seems to be enjoying himself, so good on him.
Well, defensively, Denmark have shuffled things around again. So I'll give you a little light. We've got Valdemar Turkelson, Martin Simonson, and Anton Brown left to right in the outfield. Alessandro Wong, Anis Feiner, and Duncan Milne, Freddie Turkelson left to right in the infield. Battery has been the same behind the dish the whole way through here in Jorgensen, Anis, and Lucas Lohmann, the new pitcher now. That was easier than making all the changes. I think we must just give them the lineup, right?
Yeah, right. Everybody back up to speed.
It's just the way head coach Rashad Aldris doesn't leave much ink in the pen for the scorer, I'm sure, in this situation. Hard hit ball. This has got a chance. Back to the track. And it's off the fence. It's in the play. Will it be in the Parker? Here comes the throw. Around the corner, the ball comes, and it skids. It comes off the pitcher's mat and skids sideways, and an opportunity for a bang-bang play at the plate. But it's Yusuke Morihita with an in the park home run for the lead for Japan.
Wow.
Of course, that was Matsuro Miyagi with the in the park. Comes off the fence. If Felder was going to go out, it's a long fence here, Porch on this one. Comes off the top of the fence. Ricochets back in. Even both outfielders felt like it was going out.
Yeah, you see them walking to, or tracking it down to the fence, and once it hit it and bounced back into the field, well, the runner had a chance. Oh, puts it bunt down. Oh, he is safe easily. Wow, if you got that weapon in your arsenal, you can put it down like that every time. You're safe every time.
Yeah, well, Zitsui, an experienced campaigner for sure, and backs up a home in the park home run with a running bunt play and gets safely on first base. Get the feeling here, Japan just trying to put the foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, they turn it up a notch.
Turning it up a notch indeed. Looking at the corners here, we've got Freddie Turkelson at 1 and Alessandro Wong at third base. Just come into the ball game at third base. Maybe caught a little deep in that situation. Yone now. Runners off on the pitch.
As you can see right there, rain comes into play and the field comes into play again. A little wet coming up. Just maybe coming off the bag, yes or no, but still safe at second base.
Yeah, good call out there by Jonas Christensen. Right there on the play, called safe twice, and you could see it the whole way, and stolen base for Japan in that situation. Got a good jump, I might add, from my vantage point, seeing that one come through. So Japan leading the ball game at the moment. 2 runs to 1.
I thought it was. I'm not really sure if it's not squared up. 2-2.
2-2.
They had a home run. That was a 2-1.
Of course, you're keeping track of the scoreboard at home for us. What have you got? Oh, of course. Yes, my apologies. Of course. Yeah, thank you very much. Jeez, I tell you what, Susan Bruns did a wonderful job with the video producing for us. And, of course, Denmark had the lead on the home run.
Yeah.
Of course. How we forget that from Freddie Turkelson. And because that's right, the youngster Duncan Milne with a drive. That's the tying run. And Japan now just tying it up there. Of course, that's all a little bit different how that feels now. So, Denmark trying to hold on here. Good pitch here from Lohmann. Rise ball up top, not tempting enough for Une. He will go down to first base with a walk. So Lucas Lohmann comes in. First batter drives it hard, a line drive, but straight into the glove of the second baseman for the first out. Gives up the in the park home run. Drop bunt and then a walk. So just trying to find his rhythm here. And he'll need to do it soon. A team like Japan will jump all over an opportunity if they get a chance. Drop ball down low.
Yeah, Japan is putting pressure on the new pitcher.
As all good international teams shouldn't they?
Yeah, and the rain's coming down a little bit heavier now.
That can be unsettling for a player.
Yeah.
Of any age, to be fair. And Lohmann just struggling to find the zone there a little bit. Interesting to see. I mean, he started at second base, of course, Lucas, and the glove he's using the pitch is a short infielder's glove. And normally you've got a big mitt in there. Low lifter.
Yeah, some pitchers like the big mitt and some like it a little bit smaller. But as long as it's a closed web, so you can't see the grip.
And with that last pitch, the rain is coming in a little heavier again, and we're going to take another break here. And you know what? Lucas Lohmann, I think, just got a little bit of a reprieve there to get a chance to come off the field, gather his thoughts, because he hadn't hit the strike zone for a number of pitches there. You could just see things starting to happen. But you know what? Sometimes the softball gods are on your side, and Lucas has got that now, and hopefully he gets that opportunity to come back there and perform, because he's got himself in a heck of a ball game. 2 runs apiece. We're locked up, and of course we're in the bottom of the 6th innings between Japan and Denmark with a slight delay. We'll be back shortly when the rain goes.
say your home is where your heart is. I know my home is here with you. There's a world to behold. It's a better home you own with golden homes.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old. So take time with the ones you love. Take time with the ones you love.
Stand by, they're about to go. Second pit spot next was O'Daya, 3 wide.
The TAB takes you from wherever you are right into the race. Melbourne Cup season is here. Join the TAB, deposit $10 and get a $20 bonus with the promo code SPRING. TAB, now you're in the game.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
G'day, my name's Brent Mulholland. I'm the Managing Director of ELE. I guess what makes ELE quite different from others is all of our people have a technical and management skill set in the sectors that we operate. So ELE as a business operates in the civil, transport, construction, engineering and oil and gas sectors. We have branches in Christchurch, Wellington, Auckland, Hawke's Bay and New Plymouth. And we engage approximately 500 workers on any given day. So if you're a client looking for great staff for your business, we've got people that can help. We're easy to work with, non-corporate, and we like to think we just keep it real.
I'm Richard Leach from Higgins Contractors Wellington. My role with Higgins is operations supervisor, so I'm responsible for the daily planning, daily resourcing of each crew. ELE Recruitment, we're an agency we deal with for temporary staff. We've been dealing with them for 3 years now. They're a good bunch of guys to deal with. They're all down to earth. They know our business, and plus they've also got staff and leaders that have been in the industry before, so they know what we want, they know our requirements, and they're down to earth company to deal with.
My name's Scott Mitchell. I'm the owner manager of Fastway Canterbury. We have day-night gangs working here 24/7, so we have a need for day staff, courier drivers, office staff and night crew workers as well. Probably about 12 months ago started working with ELE, namely through recruitment in our office working team here through to our night crew, labouring crew as and when required.
E&I Engineering is a specialist sheet metal fabrication company. We would operate a fibre laser machine. We've got 4 press brakes, about 15 welding bays with robot welding involved, shot blasting, powder coating, rotational plastic moulding, and we also as well. We would employ in the vicinity of 75 staff, and through ELE we would have placed probably at least 15 staff onto our permanent books. So they've been very, very good for us. They've been able to help us to manage some pretty serious growth, 30% growth in the last 6 months. And we've been trying to find a range of staff. So yes, some temp labour at an entry level, but also some more highly skilled tradesmen as well. They're really, really good to deal with, generally so, not just because there's a camera in front of my face. Been very, very pleased with their relationship with ELE. Yeah, I do sincerely and genuinely recommend them.
So if you're a client looking for great staff for your business, we've got people that can help. We have recruitment from all around the country and also abroad, and that brings a level of skill and expertise to our sites that our customers really enjoy. And in today's tightening labour market, it's essential that companies like ours can get the right people. We trademarked right people, right place, because it really is all about putting the right person in the right place, and if you do that, you wind up with a successful business. We take client relationships and we build friendships, and that's what makes ELE quite special.
And we're back again after the little rain delay. Chopper just stepped out of the booth. Still 2-2. Esquiroya picks up a walk and the bases are loaded here. Big opportunity for the Japanese. And back is Chopper as well.
Great to have my man Tim on my side. Got my back here. Fantastic, my friend. Timmy, tell me what happened.
Nothing much. Ball 4 on the one pitch where we left off. So now bases loaded here. 2-2.
That's a situation, isn't it? An opportunity here for Denmark to try and get themselves out of the jam. And with one out here, loaded bases, a big obstacle, of course, here. And setting up Ryuye Une. 1 from 3 today. Single to second base. This one's hard. It's a fly ball. Is it deep enough? If he catches it, it will be.
Yeah.
But it's foul outside the foul ball line. Perfect placement in this case for Denmark. Locked up at 2 apiece at the moment. Catch that deep in the outfield would have given 1 run. It maybe with the pace of Une at second base, it could be 2 runs. So bottom of the 6th innings here. Japan tied it up with an in the park home run. Loaded bases now. 1 out. Rise ball buzzes in the tower. Nunes sits down. Comes back up smiling like a Japanese player do, that, don't they?
They always do.
Yeah.
Sometimes pitchers have that edge. Just let a batter know that they're there.
Let a batter know you're there.
Ooh.
Fouls that one off.
Almost straight into the dugout of the Danish.
Yeah, keeping themselves alive here. Keep the gloves up, boys. Keep the grill clean here. It's Lucas Lohman who's coming in for his first innings of work. That's a 6. He's given up a run, loaded bases on him. The young pitcher here from Denmark. If he can get a ground out, double play, that will set this team on fire. Drop ball's good. Just what he needed. Best pitcher of the innings thus far from Lohman. And he sits down Une for the strikeout and the second out of the innings.
Big strikeout work there.
Hiroto Ikeda. Not his normal stats for the day in this one. 2 strikeouts and hit by pitch. And he goes to the low lifter. Lohman, just a bit of confidence off that last drop ball now. Looking better on the mound. Pleased to say the weather is starting to look a bit better as well, which is good. Breeze is still around a little bit. The clouds are scattered, moving quick. Drop ball outside, not teasing enough.
Infield back out again.
They are indeed. Simpson loosening up the arm in case it's required on a drop ball to the outfield. Trying to get that low lifter to clip the edge, can't do that, so Lohman falls behind in the count now. Drop ball's good up the middle. Can they make the play here? He misses the... Oh! Duncan Milner with an opportunity. A backhanded sliding grab would have been difficult. Would have got second base with a forced play and no run have scored. Unfortunately for him, bobbles it and it goes through him. Runner scores. All the runners move a base.
Not an easy play. He tried it though.
It was one of those kind of in-between slow rollers where you're not too sure how much time you're going to get on it. He elected to go down for the slide and pick it up. Maybe if he could have kept on his feet, he might have controlled it a bit better. The end result, Japan grabbed the lead here again. This one, scoring-wise, has been brilliant. So 2 in the innings now for Japan. They lead the ball game 3-2. And in my mind, this has been the player of the match here batting, the catcher for Japan. Foul ball goes back out of play. Tayo Takaoka has simply been on fire. 2 from 2 today with a walk and an RBI. There's not a lot he hasn't done today, the catcher from Japan. So Lohman peers in for the signal. Katioko's ready to hit. And the drop ball is good. And it is Lohman that wins the contest this time. Katioko is sent back to the dugout. And they nullify this loaded bases threat. But Japan do get one in there after the in-the-park home run. And they have taken the lead. Boy, oh boy, this one's got a bit of everything, Tim.
Yeah, it does. And we're going to the 7th now.
We are indeed. So it's Japan that lead as we go to the 7th innings. 3-2. Back with you shortly in the top of the 7th.
Your team lose again, bro. I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekends for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Multi, try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Bark Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
Oh, welcome back to Blikkerburg Sportspark here and the beautiful Zeist. Country is Netherlands. That's where the sunshine is in the summer, and we've seen every part of the weather today, ladies and gentlemen. But it's great to have you along here for game number 3 between Japan and Denmark. Okay, so we just got word. Okay, we've got a bit of a length in this game, of course, because of a couple of rain delays. The game got a little slow in the middle of the bit. We've just been advised by
That's pretty big right there now, because if we get another rain delay, they say it's end of game, and they go back to the score at the end of the 5th inning, and that's a 1-1 score. So Japan is looking to get 3 fast out. Oh, misinformation.
Well,
it's all of the 6th inning, the last final inning that counts.
Right,
We'll
okay.
go back to 6.
So yeah, the end of the sixes is where we are now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, and that's 3-2. And good to have voice. He's just a hard-working man, isn't he? Anyway, let's go back with the action instead. And we've got the new pitching change. Japan using all of the arsenal in this one. They've gone to their fourth pitcher, and Hiroto Ikeda will step on the mound, and he will face the shortstop now, Anis Svana. Japan needing 3 outs for the ball game, of course. That one comes through for a strike.
And that's sunshine right there, people. Good swing. Just foul it off. Svana is looking to get on base right here.
3-2 the scoreline here. Japan leading top of the 7th innings. And it's been a fairy tale story for Denmark the whole way through. Just making sure we got the grip in the back pocket here for Ikeda. He's happy now. Slingshot. It's kind of up to the top, hold, pause, and go. Don't see that very often these days.
A little bit old school right there.
We see Japan, of course, just 1 week out, 4 days at the end of this one from the World Championship. This one's off the handle, going into the shortstop. Takes a couple of steps back. Will make that catch in there for the first out of the innings. Of course, Ikeda came in to close the last game. So forming their battery team or their arsenal on the mound of Japan. And maybe Ikeda is the new Mariano Rivera of the boys of the Rising Sun. How to bring up Duncan Milne. He's the youngster, remember, they came in with a bunt situation. Couldn't get it down. Because you know what? He was just going to dunk it in the left field for a double to tie the ball game up. That's the young Duncan Milne up to bat now.
Let's see if the youngster can produce again and get himself on base.
Lohman will be waiting behind him for an opportunity if he gets it. Down low from Ikeda. Got to say, I'm really impressed with Japan. And, don't get me wrong, because Japan have always been top 4. They're basically almost guaranteed to be in that position at some stage when they come world ranking time or at a world championship. But just something about this team. They just improved a bit. Added a couple more places. A couple of the juniors have come up into the senior program.
And their pitching always been solid, but sometimes I feel like they missed that real ace. And I think they have one now in the youngster that started off.
Yeah, Koyama is the real deal for sure, who's coming through the program at the moment. But you just see the confidence in them. They don't seem to get frazzled. I mean, you look at the closer here, Ikeda. Looks like he's got a little swagger about him. Hat's a little Jason to the side. Standing there, the chest is out. They've got themselves a bit of confidence, and it's good to see. Strikeout, 1 out away now. Lucas Lohman came back. Gave up the lead, unfortunately. Can he replace it now? Hard low lifter from Ikeda.
Valdemar on deck. Let's see if he gets a chance.
Well, Valdemar Turkison, we talked about earlier in the game, he was the spark plug. Came in a pitch and just come new after the big strikeout on Uramoto, the first baseman. His brother backs it up with a home run. And if they can get to him again, maybe he could be the saviour. Lohman will have to get out of jail here first because Ikeda looks like he's in control. This one comes out of the hand. Just lost a little bit of a control out of that one.
Three and one to count.
He's got himself on the hitting side here, does Lohman. So putting himself in the right position to have a positive end to the result.
Yeah.
That low lift is good. Lohman almost coming out of his shoes on it. Well, the boys, the red and white from Denmark, down in the last strikeout here. Akita looking to close it. And inside misses. Lohman is patient. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, if they wanted the spark plug to give an opportunity, it's right here. Valdemar comes up to bat.
Yeah. Good composure from that number 5, taking ball 4.
Not an easy thing to bat like that for Lohman. Just coming on to pitch that last inning, gives up the lead for his team. And then comes in with an excellent patient at bat there. Now, Turkelson has a chance to win it with a walk-off. Of course, that'll get him the lead. Bottom to come for Japan, but it's the lead they'll be looking for. Trailing by 1. Outside.
Knowing Valdemar, it's probably looking for something to drive, maybe a little high in the zone. Gets into a good count right here. Two balls, 1 strike right here.
Akita looking to close.
Big hack.
There's that one swing to 1 it all coming from Turkelson. He's a spark plug for sure. That will remain. Big one coming up next again. They just seem to be great matches all along here for this 36th edition of the Zeister Slot Tournament. Netherlands versus Denmark. That's the big rubber match.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. There's history between those two teams. We faced each other a lot. Europeans, and you know, it's always down to the wire. So, yeah, that's going to be a big game.
Everyone has their rivalries, don't they? USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. And it's on the outside edge. Akita gets the job done and picks up the strikeout for Japan to pick up the win here in game number 3. 3 runs to 2. Japan will get it. Akita closes out 2 matches here. And both he gets New Zealand, then he gets Denmark. But what a great game from Denmark. Your thoughts on the game, Tim?
Well, absolutely great game. Good job of Denmark of hanging in there. Good pitching. And Japanese, well, they're looking sharp. And if they keep this up, we should have some great softball ahead for the rest of the day and for tomorrow.
Well, some excellent softball in short. Good pitching from both teams here. Hansen starting well. Turkelson in relief in the middle. Excellent. Not giving up a run. And Japan using all 4 pitches there. Akita closes the door. My man, player of the match, Toyo Kataoka, the catcher. 2 from 3 today with an RBI. He was simply on fire. I want to thank you for your support today in this one, Tim, and your great colour commentary in this one. And, of course, Susan Bruins for doing the video switcher. We're all done here. Japan win 3-2. Coming up next, the rubber match. Netherlands taking on Denmark. Lance Win's got the call on that one. We'll see you soon.
hit up the middle. In comes Benny Milko coming around third. He'll score easily.